Continue, creatively driven, focused on results, digital marketing agency.
Hello, everybody. My name is Natalia Scarberry, and I am a founder and creative director at digital marketing agency Continue. And today we will be talking about not just marketing, but art and growth. I believe art and just art field is extremely important in marketing. It's actually imperative because marketing is emotion. And through art and aesthetics, you can communicate that message and connect to human experience on so much more deeper level. And so today I have a very special guest that we will be talking precisely about that, Elizabeth Brincklow. Elizabeth Brincklow is a well-known leader, arts leader. She has woven a journey marked by deep dedication to creativity. Raised in supportive family, she honored her skills in university theater and art history programs, expanding her repertoire in Paris under the master artists. In New York City, she showcased her diverse talents in acting, dancing, directing, playwriting, and producing. Returning to Florida, Elizabeth worked as an artist and program creator with Ruth Eckerd Hall, and as a theater presenter for Mahaffey Theater, overseeing an Office of Cultural Affairs for City of St. Petersburg. She guided the city to #1 arts destination recognition, 3 years in a row, actually. She also her accolades as such as 2% funding for public arts program, as well as founder of Elizabeth Arts LLC. She pioneered innovative grant programs for artists and art organization with Creative Pinellas, the county's arts agency. Currently, she's consulting in public art and cultural affairs for City of Dunedin. Elizabeth also curates visual art exhibition, works, and private clients, and has co-founded the Dunedin Public Theatre Foundation. Her journey stands as testament to the transformative power of passion and commitment in nurturing and celebrating the artistic spirit. Also, when I met her, this is very exciting and impressive to me. She's a pilot and a skier and a sailor and very dear friend of mine, Elizabeth Brincklow.
Hi,
Hello, Elizabeth.
Natalia. Thank you for that warm introduction. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to talk about the arts and growth, economics, technology, all of the elements that come together to bring us to this conversation.
Oh, this is great. Thank you so much for joining.
Sure.
So let's jump right into that. So City of St. Petersburg, we all love it so much. There's so many people moved from New York City, from California, from overseas, from Europe, and they see how phenomenal the city is. 3 years when you were in charge of arts and international relationship for the city, that's actually when we met.
Right.
#1 city in arts, 3 years in a row. How did this happen? And what could you share with us? What strategies and initiatives were implemented to achieve that?
Well, I think the first thing that was really helpful is that I'm a theater worker. That's my background. And I've been able to translate that to find out what do artists need, what do arts organizations need, and then how can the city provide programming and funding and initiatives that help those artists and arts organizations. But I think living it really helped me understand it and then to dig in a little bit deeper. So one of my key strategies was, does a program or a project elevate the quality of art? And 2, does that program or project sustain, support, and retain? We want to keep our artists in our areas where we live. Is the answer to both of those questions yes? And if not, then we have to revamp that program so that it is a yes to both of those questions. The other is that fostering a vibrant and inclusive arts community, getting the artists and the arts organizations to talk amongst one another to be able to cross-pollinate their ideas in programming. Marketing is essential. I focused on creating spaces and events that encouraged collaboration among these local artists, among the arts institutions, and then the community at large. So it really brought together the arts community. And I think that then the residents contributed to that energy because they saw what was happening, and then they wanted to be a part of it too. And it came down to marketing. We're marketing a #1 arts destination, and it was a bit of a build it and they will come, certainly standing on the shoulders of those who had worked in city leadership before me. It always takes people. And I think one of my key strategies is getting the right people for the right projects. And that was you in several cases. So
Yeah, this is one of we actually, when we just launched one of the platforms, so we're launching this episode on many different platforms, and one of them was a LinkedIn at Continue, and it had some sort of a delay, so we just connected to that. So, and we had 120 people registered there. Just if you missed the beginning, this is Elizabeth Brincklow, and she's an arts leader, and we're so fortunate to have her here. And so yeah, let's continue. So yeah, we met few years ago when you were in charge of arts and international relationship, and building a global connection is so crucial. So, and you were able to, we met through the Sister City program with St. Petersburg, where I was a co-director for several years. And we've done a lot of interesting and exciting projects where we were able to connect people and identify that connectivity, identify that similar aspects, people across the globe. And you were able to do it with several connections, especially with Japan. Can you tell us, like, what the significance of that? What is the meaning of fostering those relationships in terms of the human experience, in terms of e-commerce? If you could share some of that.
Well, sure. The significance is immense. I mean, we are a global world now. We are connected through art. We're connected through cuisine, through technology, through economics. And with the Sister City program, that was essential. I mean, it's been in existence with the city of St. Petersburg, the connection between St. Petersburg and Takamatsu, Japan, for over 60 years. It started in a difficult time where sister cities came together with many Japanese cities across the country of the United States, where they were connecting up. And this was a way to foster change from what had happened in our history, in our earlier history together.
And that was, and if I remember it correctly, it was initiated by Japan, right? By Japanese cities. They are the ones that send letters to the American cities.
They were intent on making change, meaningful change. So that occurred with the city of St. Petersburg as well. And if I remember correctly, they wrote several times until it was accepted. But
really? And that we're talking about like 1960s.
Oh yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah, the relationship, when it was finally settled, it's been going on. They just celebrated with a delegation from Japan just this year, celebrating the 60th. That was delayed due to COVID, because it actually transpired during the COVID years, those 2 years. But the significance is great. Connections, they act as bridges. The exchange of ideas, the exchange of traditions and innovations between cultures. I mean, it's really this person-to-person diplomacy, which is key. And if you travel, you understand this. And of course, I know you do, and I do, and have a great love for it. I think that's one of the reasons that during my time in that role with the city, that I was able to maximize that particular relationship, and ended up writing the Twin Cities Agreement for Figueres, Spain. And that was between the two Dali museums, but then it also included government, the two governments, as well as then our experience with the city of St. Petersburg, Russia. And that quote from Hillary Clinton's book always inspires me, because of what affects the people in St. Petersburg, Florida, affects the people in St. Petersburg, Russia. That's how connected we are, just by a name. And then we can connect our histories and our artists and our arts organizations. I mean, we have terrific arts institutions in both locations. And I find that global connections bring this just really diverse perspectives and fostering, cultural enrichment. It makes us better, and it makes our businesses better.
Absolutely. And we can see it. We all love St. Petersburg. People like what has happened in the last 20 years in the city is insane. And this is exactly what created that footprint and that thread of, diversity and the international perspective. A lot of people, I felt like this, and a lot of people feel like, oh, it feels like it's a European city. And arts is just such an important, element to that. So thank you so much for
those connections, those specific connections between like ArtLink with Creative Clay and with its counterpart in Japan, Takamatsu, and the Eckerd College teacher program and the city's student ambassador programs. These are tangible programs that keep this person-to-person contact and relationship happening. It's very deep and it's incredibly dear to my heart.
Yeah, this is great. Thank you so much for that, recognizing that. And then by doing that, what you done while you were in the office. And then, so after leaving the office, you established the arts consulting agency. And I know that you created a lot of innovation and programs that connected to foster grant programs for the artist. This is something that artists always, they do their art, but they are always struggle to be heard and to understand where to find these programs, how it's done. So what you've done is incredible. Can you talk about that?
Sure, certainly. The our local arts agency was just reinnovating, was just coming back into being. It had become strictly a marketing opportunity, an online connection, but with no grants, several good programs, but no granting was occurring. So I was brought on as an independent consultant to create the new grant programs that were going to be for artists and for arts organizations. And basically, again, just like building the #1 arts destination, the guide to the #1 arts destination process in St. Petersburg, for the county, it was finding out what do the artists need and what do the arts organizations need, so that we could deliver grant programs specific to those needs, instead of saying, oh, we want you to do this, and now you have to rework what you're doing in order to get this funding. And that just, as a former artist, still a practicing artist, but as a guide to creating these grant programs, I felt it essential to meet the artists and the arts organizations with programs that they needed, and that would help them grow. So we instituted through Creative Pinellas professional artist, those awardees for the professional artist and for the emerging artist grants. They had their own exhibitions that were in the Creative Pinellas Gallery. A great opportunity to then create work and show work, and then being able to, again, bring residents into the gallery to celebrate the work and to follow the development of these artists. So we've got a rich arts community in the Pinellas County area, including Hillsborough, including Sarasota. Now, this particular work, we're moving into my consulting work with the city of Dunedin. This is a work by the international artist Christopher Still. He's located in Tarpon Springs. And I was challenged with the opportunity to place artwork in the lobby, the former piece with the sunrise. If you go back one.
Go back, yeah, okay.
Yeah, just go back one. Thank you. This particular work is 65 feet wide by 16 feet tall. It's a reproduction of an original artwork by Christopher Still called The Sun Will Rise Again. Those of us who live in Dunedin know this particular location off of the Fenway Hotel. I have a long history with the Fenway Hotel, which is now reconstituted as a hotel. But this particular view, we all know quite well. This boat waiting for the tide to come in. It's an impressive piece, and it brings a warmth and invites the residents and visitors of Dunedin into that lobby, and this is what they see. It really brings art on the inside of the building. I also, on this next image, this is work of international artist Heath Sato, titled The Sea. His inspiration was based on a Satoru quote, "Individually we are one drop, together we are an ocean." And so that concept of one person can't do it all, but together we can really create something very, very special. And again, this is at the entrance, the west entrance of our brand new City Hall.
This is beautiful. And we kind of jumped a little bit ahead, but this is basic. I mean, you've done all this work for art organization and the city, and then you established this entrepreneurial business skill and the entrepreneurial agency, and you're working with the city still, and you're working with the public art and the theater. How does all of this blend? How do you find what is the right path to do that? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people in nonprofit sector or just artists, they trying to figure out how does that. So on your example, it would be interesting to hear, how do you blend all that?
Well, I think everyone's path is different, of course. My mission with Elizabeth Brincklow Arts LLC is to make art accessible not only to government, but also finding ways to assist artists to find either projects or programs that can help them. Arts organizations, linking them up, again, just like the #1 arts destination. How do you connect people? And really, I think that's a lot of what my work is connecting people with projects and with other opportunities that are just going to, again, elevate the quality of art and support, sustain, and retain our artists and our arts organizations.
That's beautiful. I know that you were able to push and display art and make government official aware about artists, and you've done it by placing the artwork in city chambers and city halls. So how you were able to do it? Why do you think it's important? And if you could tell us about that.
Well, the opportunity was in front of me and my co-curator, Mary Childs. We worked together on curating the art in the old City Hall, as well as in other exhibition opportunities, such as the Florida Craft Art opportunity in St. Petersburg, Florida. We have this particular image is the work of D. Yael Kelly. She's a painter, a fine artist from St. Petersburg, Florida. And she is the first exhibition in the new City Hall in Dunedin. From the old City Hall, it was, I thank those artists for staying with us and for exhibiting their work there. It wasn't the most fabulous of buildings, but it certainly warmed the space and informed the space and brought art into the City Hall environment, which I think is essential. I think it's essential. This particular slide is a project that Mary and I did in St. Petersburg in May of this year, The Alchemy of Art. It was a national show. And the focus was, actually it won an award for the Best of the Bay Critics Pick this year, of the non-cliche, the best non-cliche arts exhibition for 2023. But for us, it was bringing together artists that work in technology, some of those from MIT, prominent glass artists, prominent local artists, and bringing that work together. And how did the conversation, what was the conversation between the artworks as we curated and placed those works in the actual display in the gallery? How did those artworks, how do they talk to one another? Yeah, I'm getting a little emotional on that one because the conversation was so rich, and we just really enjoyed putting that exhibition together, and including those artists in that conversation. So the next conversation is really, continuing to keep exhibitions going, continuing to keep the work, bringing the work into the city, having it be central, bringing that #1 arts destination to the North County of Pinellas County now. And that's on the rise. Dunedin is a cultural destination, an arts destination now, because of all these things and all the other work that artists and arts organizations are doing here.
So what do you see? I mean, the world is definitely a different place right now than it used to be, let's say, 25 or 30 years ago, in terms of conducting business and not in terms of communicating. What do you see as challenges and also maybe an opportunity in terms of this conversation about importance art, or even getting people involved in the arts and pushing arts as a mechanism of growth? What do you think?
I think art and technology have to be friends, because so much technology is moving so very quickly, moving us forward in ways that we, certainly someone imagined them. But I think making sure that AI and augmented reality doesn't get ahead of human creation and the personal abilities of humans to create artwork and to create literature, and just not let it, it's to use it as a tool, to use it as a tool, as opposed to allowing it to do all your work for you.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely a great assistant, but the human experience, the magic of human experience, so people coming in together from different places or experiencing, whether it's a fine art, where it's theater, my favorite type of art, and sometimes it's interesting. You can even see the theater in different language that you don't understand, and you can feel the energy and understand that. So it's nowadays you can do it online and you can see that.
Well, and you have the expertise with global digital marketing. And so how would you use some of these tools to make, to make them more, to make art and technology fit better together?
Yeah. So we can talk about, so just maybe before we going into some tips, and I will be more than happy to share some things. And there are certainly so many things that we implemented in the past that I'm still doing right now, that I'm so happy to share what you can do, what any arts or nonprofit organization can do for their message to be heard, and for any goals to be met. But before that, can you tell us what you do right now? What you are working on?
Well, working on several projects for the city of Dunedin. And I think I know what you're hinting at. I have a passion project, which I co-founded with a group of interested individuals, passionate individuals in theater, to develop. We co-founded the Dunedin Public Theater Foundation Incorporated. And the mission of this is to create a fully equipped professional theater facility in the city of Dunedin. It is the missing piece in the cultural assets of Dunedin. There's so much organic energy around this particular project. We're so excited about it. We have our strategic plan. We have our business plan. We have a marketing campaign on paper. Not all the details that I know you're going to be helping us with, but it really is an amazing project. We're doing dine-arounds, we're doing dine-ins, we're doing initial fundraising for market studies so that we can get more contributions on a larger level, and having those conversations with developers. We have some properties picked out, and I won't be specific about those, but it's an amazing project and amazing process that we're doing. So I'm wondering,
that is so amazing. That is great. And I see how much, how I like to go to theaters, to stage work. So American Stage Theater, Free Fall, in St. Pete, and
job site.
Beautiful work local talents can do. And I know that they can commission, or they invite some actors or talent from other places, from New York. And
right.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So what are specific ways that you feel that some marketing strategies and some online tools that we can use that'll help get our message out?
This is a great question, and there are plenty. And the beauty of digital marketing and in the digital marketing in the connection and the intersection with arts is not just on the branding side, where obviously it could be helpful to any company or any commerce, that understanding that emotional aspect, the soul of the company, that you can bring that artistic element anywhere. But also digital marketing is an amazing system that you can build, that ecosystem, figure out your target audience, and spread your message in very controlled, in certain ways, to your potential target audience, for people who are interested to hear this message. So obviously, if you already have an organization that in place, who do you need to address first and foremost. So your target audience, what is your mission, what you're about, what's your goals, like what are you passionate about. And with nonprofits, on that path is something that sometimes businesses are trying to figure out, okay, how can they be different than others? Then nonprofits are usually a passion business, so it's easy to talk about it. Arts, it's easy to talk about it because it's usually either beautiful or has a compelling content already. So just kind of think about how to dissect a lot of unnecessary information and still be precise about what is the mission. So just what is the mission, what is the content that reflects that goal. And I would start with building a calendar. I think just for the first first, always it's the awareness stage where you building awareness to everybody who is interested. Um, why you're doing what you do, why do they need to hear about you, what will it bring. So I would not ask for, just kind of, it's better to first educate people about like what's happening, create the excitement for them, maybe find partnerships. People do, lives like this, because this way you can share it to their destinations, to their social media, and more people could be heard. So I would first couple months, I mean, depending on your goals, but like maybe 2 or 3 months would just build awareness. And why I'm talking about calendar, because you can just sit down and schedule everything, and identify, also very important, identify where that target audience could live, and then definitely target them on those channels. Like, just if it's LinkedIn, then, and if it's a B2B business or associations, then definitely, again, things like that is super important. If it's Facebook, is great for everybody, especially for the crowd, 45 and older. It shows really good, engagement in terms of community. And if you have a lot of great visuals, Instagram is amazing. Good thing to do it like almost like that 360 content. Like you decided, okay, I'm gonna post something about the initiation or what we're gonna do, and just try to target people from different directions. Email marketing, craft a beautiful email and send it to your to database if you already have a database. If you don't, you obviously would be doing it in social media, and maybe build. And this is like, if you have some funds, I would spend it on allocating that particular target audience. And once you have a compelling strategy on the calendar, and when you post something, just send it to the boost for your potential clients. Because and another great thing about live events like this one is, do you know that in social media, organically, when you post something organically, let's say you have 1,000 followers, it will only show to 3%. So only 30 people will actually see it. And if this 30 people gonna like it, or gonna watch the whole video, or they will, maybe potentially it will expand a little bit more. But it's very difficult to move at the beginning. So if you already have a compelling content about whatever you're doing with this nonprofit or about the theater, then it's, it maybe makes sense to spend just a little bit of money, maybe not that much, maybe it's just a couple dollars a day, but it helps the engine, going. So that's important. By the way, also in terms of digital marketing, in Google give away up to $10,000 a month to qualified nonprofits in terms of grants. So that's also a great tool, and to utilize. So yeah, I mean, constantly, post stories, do email marketing on the platforms where your target audience will live. And nowadays, last year was 3 touch points before people will actually start to sort of noticing you. Now it's 5, and then business to business is 10. So the attention span is even shorter now, so you just gotta show up everywhere, and this is what people expect. uh, and But people also, when you partner with great partnership, they like to spread the message. The people like to feel to be associated with something, and we've noticed a lot of organic growth and organic shareables, because people are excited about that.
Mhm. That's so much great information, Natalia. Some of which we're already doing, and some I just took a few notes so that I'll add into my marketing plan. That's scheduling, so that you really can schedule ahead of time and
Yeah, because it
spend a
gives
day
you.
making content and then schedule it and have it ready to go.
But it will give you that, and just like, why do I'm doing something? It's never about just, oh, this is kind of fun, let's see what happens. You can do that, but this is
Right.
not business growth. In business, like, you want to have a goal, you want to have the beginning, you want to have that, you understand where you go, and every single thing, every single deliverable that it's out there has a purpose. and
Right.
messaging is precise, branding is precise, and people will start picking up on that. It's just they need to be constantly heard about it.
So how do you measure the success of digital marketing campaigns for individuals or nonprofits? And what metrics or key performance indicators should we expect to track to know if
That's
we're doing well?
This is amazing question. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for this. It's actually super important to understand not just strategy, but understand how you're going to measure success in each stage. Like if this is awareness stage, if you're just new and you're just coming out, don't expect sales to happen, or funding, or donations to pour. You people need to know about what you're trying to do. So don't even, and don't come across as a hard sell. And this is like in everything, in
Right.
nonprofit as well. Just say how awesome, get them excited about like building this new theater, that they could be part of it. This is something for their children and grandchildren if they're
That's
local.
right.
People are moving in, and then it's for businesses, how exciting it is to be part of that as well, because that will develop. There's so much development will be happening if more people and more people will coming in for quality of life. So that is important. And so that KPI and that stage would be how many, like if it's a videos that you're posting about that, don't check how many conversion happens or how many donation happen, because and that's what happens. Sometimes people launch something with business as well, and they see there's not that many sales, and they're like, oh, they get discouraged. And it's like maybe one sale in the month. It's like, oh, what I'm gonna do, like this is not good, it's not happening, I don't know what to do. But this is not what's supposed to happen at the beginning. Right now, at the awareness stage, at the first, the initial stage, you need to see how many people saw the videos, how many people clicked on your site, how many people, how many impressions you got, how many people you reached. That's all you need to know at that point. And that's, don't get confused, don't get discouraged by anything else, because you're not supposed to, because if you're going to be too aggressive about sales or donations, then people feel it, and people tend to just like
Well, then
not.
it's not about the work.
Exactly.
It needs
So
to be an extension of the work as opposed to the work.
and this is something that we do with everybody, with with nonprofits that we worked with, build that excitement with businesses. You have to show them why they should be lucky to
Right.
to be part of it.
Right.
So clicks on site, visits on the website, impressions, reach, how many people it's reached. Video views is amazing. You can see how many seconds each video was played, how many people is in that circle. Because what happened, and it's actually on awareness, if you're boosting things, to gain new audience on the awareness stage, it's much cheaper than on any other stages. So your goal is to build that bubble of target audience, because then
Mhm.
target them after that. So on the next stage, that could be engagement. Now you need to like them, to comment, to share, to ask you questions. So now you don't look at that impressions anymore. You can kind of be mindful of that, but I would look into engagements.
Yes.
And then when you actually do donations or sales, then of course it's leads, conversions, maybe clicks to the website, depending on the type of, if it's a business that requires people can just walk in. Like, for example, I was doing digital marketing for Imagine Museum in downtown St. Petersburg. And when we were trying to figure out how would we measure it, because a lot of people didn't want to buy tickets online, we just still looked in number of people who clicked on the site and how much cost per click on that site would be. And then when we would see like the growth in attendance. This was our key performance indicators, because if there's we met and exceeded goals, and a lot of times it was like this every one. I remember one year was 60%, another year was also another 60%, and then 75. Like that's how we kind of grew. But it's those are important ones. So yeah, don't get discouraged.
No, not discouraged at all. Actually, I feel I'm energized by it because we're doing many of those things, not only the external, the digital marketing, but also then the person-to-person work of communicating, sitting down and having a coffee and talking about the project. But one of the uh, impressive pieces that we've done is a video for the Dunedin Public Theater Foundation and what is the missing piece. So I think you have that video to run. Is that true?
Yes, I do. And the videos actually is best right now. It's been last year, but this year it's even more. Video is one of the most engaging ways to get people excited about the organization, the company. So definitely don't. Video is important, and this is something. I mean, I worked in video production for many years in Home Shopping Network, and I saw like
Right.
phenomenal power of how video can move people into spending money. And throughout, every business is, it's incredible, because that's where you have the opportunity to communicate your authentic message, because at the end of the day, people do business with those who they know, like, and trust. And the video through digital marketing or that communication is your authentic opportunity to tell and to get more people to get to know, while you still you can reach so many people. So let's show the video.
Yeah, videos that are short, right? Under 2 minutes.
So it's, I mean, for depending, it depends on the goal. You can have like long-term video, long format videos, short-term. If it's ads, it's usually could be less than 15 seconds or 30 seconds. This is more video explainers. There 2 minutes is good, especially for that, for intention of the nation, because you do need to. So let's talk about.
Let's take a look.
Let's see.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Так, what's happening here? Так, actually, let me. Ой, так.
There we go.
Мгм.
Dunedin, oh, how we love you. So many places where we love to gather. The Marina, the Golf Club, the Scottish American Society, and Dunedin Fine Arts Center. Breweries, restaurants, parks, the Gladys Douglas Park, and Blue Jays Stadium. The new City Hall, the History Museum, Sterling Art Lofts, Pioneer Park, the Farmers Market, the Film Festival. Dunedin has it all. Or does it? What is the one thing missing? What is the one thing that will balance our nightlife and offer education, employment opportunities, and entertainment for the entire community? Imagine accessible live theater for all ages. Music, opera, dance, film, drama, theater for youth, comedy, and spoken word. Imagine educational events and small conferences here in Dunedin. What's missing is a professional theater space fully equipped for all of the performing arts. And what's missing is you to help make it happen. There is much work ahead to make a theater in Dunedin a reality. With your help, it will happen. Will you play your part of this visionary plan?
Beautiful.
So did we hit our mark? Did we hit all the aspects of that particular message in that video?
Yeah, I think it's, it's a beautiful message. It's people understand why they want to be part of it. And yeah, there's even a call to action here.
Exactly.
So what's call to action?
The call to action is to donate to the Dunedin Public Theater Project, to the fund, for our market study, so that we can prove to developers and banks and large contributors that this will work in the city of Dunedin. We know it will. So that's where we are. We have the Dunedin Public Theater at gmail.com is our email address, and DunedinPublicTheater.org is our website. And yeah, we'd love to hear from folks who are interested in theater, interested in volunteering, interested in being a part of this movement, because it is indeed a movement.
That's beautiful. I think we can have that screenshot in the comments and all the platforms that we have it running, because we've got it on, LinkedIn and several LinkedIn accounts and Facebook, YouTube, and we'll just make sure we'll go everywhere and put that in the comments. So if you want to be part of it, just check in the comments, and you will see that QR code and information about how to get more information about the Dunedin Public Theater. And just follow Elizabeth.
Thank you, Natalia. Thanks for the opportunity today. Thanks for everyone who was listening.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. I think it was a really exciting, interesting conversation, and I traveled back in those wonderful times when arts when arts is still actually a staple of the city of St. Petersburg, and
Absolutely.
now and human connection. And I think this is something that people need to hear more and do more in these crazy realities, where I think I still believe, I know it's kind of hard in today's reality to think that, but I still believe at the end of the day, people are more the same than they are different. And now through digital marketing, through that, there's so many tools to be able to experience that, to share that, and I'm definitely helpful. And in terms of digital marketing or any other tools that anybody would like to find out, follow us, subscribe to us, like this video, and we constantly have different interviews or live events or just tips. We're constantly posting something about how to improve your positioning online one way or another, and maybe you can find that helpful. And also my favorite segment that we do is art and advertisement. And this is something that a lot of people ask me, so why do you do that? Because I'm so married to arts, and this is something that was in my life all my life. And I talk about an intersection of art and advertisement, because I think that that's where, without understanding human experience through art in a deeper level, you can communicate and craft that messaging in a completely different level that can stay with you. And if it's a business of integrity, that this is just a win-win situation.
Yeah. So final word is go out and support your artists in your area who are right around you. Listen to music, go hear poetry, go to a museum, go to an art exhibition, go to live theater. And there's just so much out in our community. And to be able to expand that to the world, to show people what's actually happening in your community is there's just gold there.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Thank you.
Continue.